How's it going, everybody? I've got some really exciting new releases and, of course, the pick of the week. All of that and more coming up on this week's episode of Christian Cinema Weekly. Well, the season is starting to change. School is back in or is about to go back in, and people are preparing for autumn. But I will not go quietly into the night. I want to hold on tightly to summer, and I can't think of any better way to do that than to talk about some great summery type movies right now. Let's jump right into them. First up, we got a movie called Sweet Summertime. Caleb is a young boy with a loving mom and dad. He has great friends and he lives in a great town. But when his mother tragically passes away, his dad takes a job in another city. Caleb and his best friend Blake join forces to make this the best summer ever before Caleb has to move. They rally together all of the community to do good deeds in the memory of Caleb's mom. Hopefully, they can make a difference in the community and maybe even turn the heart of Caleb's dad back to Christ. Find out when you watch Sweet Summertime. Next up, we've got an exciting swashbuckling film called Beyond the Mask. Will Reynolds is a former assassin for the British East India Company, but then someone double crosses him and now he has to run away to the American colonies. But he's changed his ways and he starts working to restore his good name. Can he get back the love of his life, whose trust he has betrayed, and foil an epic plot to bring down the budding American nation? Well, you're just gonna have to watch to find out. Next up, we've got the Christian and romance. You know, sometimes it's difficult and a little bit uncomfortable to talk about relationships and love in a religious environment. And I think part of that is because our culture has taken that beautiful thing that God has given us and made it something that it was never meant to be. I mean, according to Professor Stuart Burgess, today's secular culture is a relationship culture that focuses on that exact distortion of romance. He has studied a lot of relationships over the years and has studied out what works and what doesn't. And in this video, he shares his biblical-based advice for a healthy, long-lasting, successful relationship. Hey, do you guys want to laugh, cry, feel all at the same time? Well then, you should check out this next title called Bob Smiley, Breaking Bob. After 20 years in comedy, Bob's latest title is a bit of a retrospective. He talks about his love for his children and opens up about the ending of his 18-year-long marriage. But he brings the laughs too. He tells about the time he almost got punched, how to properly watch TV if you have ADD, which, you know, I found very helpful, and a whole lot more. Breaking Bob even won an award from International Christian Visual Media this year. So if they liked it, well, you know what? You might just like it as well. All right, guys, it is time for the Christian Cinema Pick of the Week, and this one is so interesting. I love history, I like World War II history, and this story has always fascinated me. This is a documentary called Navajo Code Talkers. At one point in World War II, the Americans were struggling with having a lot of their communications intercepted by the Japanese and the Germans. What they ended up doing is getting Native Americans who spoke the Navajo language, something that the Japanese and the Germans didn't know anything about, and they communicated that way, so if it got intercepted, there was no way to crack the code. They famously helped the United States win against the Japanese, and they were awarded congressional gold medals. Now, I don't know everything about the story, and it's something that I've only remember reading in history books whenever I was a kid. Now, in this documentary, they tell their own personal stories. You get to see firsthand the accounts from people who actually were in it. Very fascinating, very interesting, and it's this week's Pick of the Week, so check it out if you want to check it out. Or any of the digital releases that I mentioned this week, go to christiancinema.com or check out the links in the description. While you're over there, be sure to check out our newsletter where you can keep up with even more of the latest and greatest news surrounding faith and film. Well, that's all I've got to say for this week. If you do want to keep up with the latest and greatest news surrounding faith and film, then be sure to hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel. I'm Kevin. Have a great week.